Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You are charged in this case with a felony. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing can be used against you in court. You have the right to an attorney and a court-appointed attorney if you cannot afford one when at all questioning and proceedings, and the right to a preliminary examination within 21 days of today's date on this charge. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You are charged with having on or about March 8, 2011 through March 19, 2011 at 1856 Sheridan, Muskegon County, Michigan, of having allegedly committed the offense of count 1, surveilling unclothed person, in that it's alleged you did surveil or attempt to surveil the unclad breasts of Chelsea McComber and or Brianna McComber under circumstances where that individual had a reasonable expectation of privacy. You are also notified that if convicted, you would have to register under the Sex Offender Registration Act notice. It is a felony punishable by up to 2 years in prison and or $2,000 fine. Do you understand that charge and penalty, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You are charged with a second count, surveilling unclothed person, in that it's alleged you did surveil or attempt to surveil the unclad breasts of the same two individuals under circumstances where that individual had a reasonable expectation of privacy. And when I say the same two individuals, I'm referring to the individuals in count 1. It is also, again, punishable as a felony, up to 2 years in prison and or a $2,000 fine. You would also have to register under the Sex Offender Registration Act notice. It would be a Tier 1 offense under the Sex Offender Registration Act, also known as SORA, if the victim is a minor. It is a Tier 2 offense if you, the defendant, has a prior conviction for a Tier 1 offense under MCL 28.722, and it is a Tier 3 offense under Sex Offender Registration Act if you, the defendant, has a prior conviction for a Tier 2 offense. So those are the SORA notices. You are also charged with count 3, surveilling unclothed person, in that it's alleged you did surveil or attempt to surveil the unclad breasts of those same two individuals that the court indicated in count 1. And I don't want to repeat the names in case they are minors. It is also under circumstances where the individual had a reasonable expectation of privacy. And once again, because it is the same charge, it is a felony punishable by up to 2 years in prison and or a $2,000 fine. The same SORA notices apply. Do you understand all 3 counts and all 3 penalties, Mr. Willis?
Yes.
All right, you have been incarcerated on bond in other charges. Although you have a long-term employment with Herman Miller, it appears up to 17 years. I'm not sure of the status of that. Are you aware of the status of that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So since we are unaware of the status of that and you are incarcerated indefinitely on high bonds, I am going to give you a court-appointed attorney on this matter as well. So you will have a court-appointed attorney. You're going to have a probable cause hearing and a preliminary examination on these charges. I will give you those dates and times in just one moment. Your bond in this case will be a $70,000 cash surety bond. $70,000 cash surety bond. And your probable cause conference date is July 5, 2016 at 2 p.m. in the second floor pretrial conference room. Your preliminary examination is July 11, 2016 at 1:30 p.m. in courtroom number 1. And this is the only notice you're going to receive from the court, so just make sure that you hold on to it and appear should you bond out. Typical bond conditions of no alcohol, no non-prescribed drugs, no new charges, no marijuana, and your court-appointed attorney's information is on that notice. With that, the arraignment is closed. Thank you.